My name is Brandy Toast, and this is my final project for Education 511 Online. My project is on the Ohio Learning Standards K-12 English Language Arts in 7th grade. Ohio is one out of 44 states that has adopted the Common Core standards. One of the guiding factors behind adopting the new standards was the studies that showed that our students were not college and career ready after graduating from high school. This particular study is based on ACT benchmarks, and it shows the percent of 11th grade students ready for college. The percentage showed between 47 and 63% of Ohio 11th graders were not ready in reading, writing, language arts, and literacy and literature. And this is all stated in the introduction to Ohio's new learning standards for English language arts, model curriculum, and assessment PowerPoint presentation. Why is there a change now for the states to have the same standards? Let's watch a short video from corestandards.org that explains why there is such a need for the change.
Like it or not, life is full of measuring sticks. How smart we are, how fast we are, how well we can, compete. But up until now, it's been pretty hard to tell how well kids are competing in school and how well they're going to do when they get out of school. We like to think that our education system does that. But when it comes to learning what they really need to be successful after graduation, is a girl in your neighborhood being taught as much as her friend over in the next one? Is a graduating senior in, say, St. Louis as prepared to get a job as the graduate in Shanghai? Well, it turns out the answer to both of these questions is no. Because for years, states have been setting different standards for what students should know and be able to do at each grade level. That's making it too hard to know if our kids are really doing well enough overall, and if they can really compete for a job someday. What we really need are clear goals. That's where the Common Core state standards come in. They're like a total sea change in education. Consistent, strong, clear benchmarks for English language arts and math. Here's how it works. You can think of kindergarten through 12th grade like a giant staircase. Each step is a skill your child needs to learn before stepping up to the next one. But right now, too many kids aren't really confident with like 2 plus 2 before they have to move on to 2 times 2. We need more focus on the skills that help them move up the stairs, or they can slip up and fall behind. And there's another problem. What if everyone's stairs were made at different heights? Well, here we go again. They are. So, a boy in Seattle who's rocking an A in English literature could be getting a C on his Chicago friend's staircase. Oops. We need to create consistent steps in education, too. So first, each standard creates a landing on the staircase, a stop along the way as your child heads toward high school graduation. Each stop is a chance for every parent and teacher to focus on the skills their students are supposed to know at that step, no matter the zip code, language, or race. And more importantly, each standard makes sure all students are learning what they need to know to get to graduation and beyond. Because something like counting to 100 leads to understanding dollars and cents, which eventually leads to understanding how to manage a budget. Secondly, the standards are consistent from school to school, and they match up against international standards too. Now we know how we're doing compared to just about everyone. So even though local communities will still design their own curriculum, with the same rules, everybody can compete on the same kind of staircase. But standards aren't learning. That's why we need teachers, parents, and students to help make that happen by working together to help kids meet these standards. The world's getting more and more competitive every day. But now, when our kids get to the top of their staircase, they can have way more options on where their life goes from there. Clear goals, confident, well-prepared students. That's the Common Core state standards.
As you saw, the Common Core state standards making the standards clear, consistent, and aligned. So what actually is the Common Core state standards, you ask? The Common Core state standards were developed to ensure that students graduating from high school are prepared to take credit-bearing introductory courses in 2 or 4-year college programs or enter the workforce. So now you may ask, Who all developed these standards? The nation's governors and education commissioners. Through the representative organizations, the National Governors Association, Center for Best Practices, and the Council of Chief State School Officers led the development of the Common Core State Standards and continued to lead the initiative. Teachers, parents, school administrators, and experts from across the country, together with state leaders, provided input into the development of the standards. The actual implementation of the Common Core, including how the standards are taught, the curriculum developed, and the material used to support teachers as they help students reach the standards, is led entirely at the state and local level. The required skill sets that the standards now focus on is creativity and innovation, critical thinking and problem solving, communication and collaboration, technology literacy, personal management, productivity, as well as leadership and responsibility. These skill sets are to prepare our students for the 21st century. This type of movement is progressivism. Now that we understand the background of the Common Core State Standards, let's look into Ohio's 7th grade English Language Arts curriculum standards. The Ohio's new learning standards for English Language Arts is structured in a curriculum pattern of academic subject design. The English Language Arts standards are broken into 4 strands and have corresponding topics. The topics then have standard statements. All the strands build upon each other as the grades progress, so there is continuity between the grades within the English Language Arts. As you look between the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, there is sequencing. The students have to meet the standard for their current grade to build upon it and expand it in the next year. The standards ensure the students gain adequate exposure to a range of tests, texts, and tasks. There is rigor that is throughout the standards that require the students to read increasingly complex texts through the grades. The Common Core State Standards that Ohio has adopted has many connections of authentic learning that are tied to the 21st century skills. These connections provide deeper levels of thinking as well as an enduring understanding of why the student needs to learn the content. Each standard statement for the 7th grade states what the student needs to be able to complete. The strands then explain in more detail in the content and elaboration section. Each strand also explains what the student should have learned in previous grades and what they will build upon in the next grade. The curriculum for each strand explains why it is important for the students to learn the skill and how it will apply to their future. Each strand is followed by provided instructional teaching strategies. These strategies are engaging to the students and offer ways to use technology in the instruction. It also provides resources for the teachers to use. Teachers still have the freedom to make their own lesson plans that they can tailor to the individual needs of their students. The instructional strategies that are suggested provide different assessments that teachers can use. There are formative assessments that teachers can gauge how their students are doing immediately. These assessments include making predictions in literature to plagiarizing activities in writing. The interim assessments that are suggested throughout the teaching strategies are to create a book trailer in literature or to a personal opinion paper for writing. It seems that the summative assessment that Ohio will be using will be the PARCC assessment, which is the Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers. The PARCC states high-quality assessment will allow parents and educators to see how children are progressing in school and whether they are on track for post-secondary success. The PARCC assessment also provides teachers with the ability to identify students who may be falling behind and need extra help. The test will be fielded in Ohio by spring 2014. Throughout Ohio's adopted Common Core state standards, there is evidence of a deeper level of thinking that builds upon each other throughout the years. There is evidence of Bloom's taxonomy in the standards. These standards are based on knowledge, skills, and attitudes. The content in the Ohio's English Language Arts 7th grade standards are effective for the grade level. These standards offer challenging, engaging text in the classroom. They create an environment that helps to nurture curious and capable and critical readers. They offer more exposure to informational text and the development of important reading skills and strategies that aid in reading different types of text. It seems that Ohio believes that students need to have continuity from one school to the next and across the states throughout the U.S. I feel that the standards cover a variety range of content with a deeper meaning. They offer students time to engage with each other as well as individually. They give ways to use technology and apply it into the reading and English language arts content. It seems even the summative assessment will allow for teachers to see that the students have a deeper level of understanding of the content that is covered. The concern I have is that the assessment of how the assessment will be used, and if it will be used just as a tool to engage with the students, or will it be used to judge the district, the school, and the teacher? This project gave me a better understanding of the Common Core state standards. I feel it does give teachers the freedom to teach, yet aligns the states with the same goals of the student's success. Here are the references that I used for my project. And this concludes my project for Education 511 on Ohio's new standards for English Language Arts 7th grade.